Welcome back. So, today let's discuss cleaning. What I want to go over today is basically what cleaning is because I'm big on foundational information. Because if you learn the foundational pieces of information, when you come across different products that could potentially be a solution to whatever problem you have or just enhancement that you want to do, you can apply these principles to that product and then just ask it logically based on the foundational pieces of information that are factual. So when you see my videos, I'm not big on, use this to do this. It's more, what do you have going on? And let's address it that way, beginning with the weakest link. And that's usually the material that you're working on. The material dictates what it is that you could do to it. And then what dictates it after that is what caused whatever it is that you're trying to remove through this cleaning process, and then designate the right cleaning agent to address it or change different variables, right? So that was a lot. Okay, so what I want to do is I used to go to classes, and there was this one guy, Dougie, amazing storyteller, amazing teacher, and he showed us this quadrant. And for the life of me, I can't remember exactly how it is that he showed it, but I mean, the guy was second to none in being able to relay the information. So I'm going to do my best to go over what it is that he trained us on and showed us, because it's what we put into practice each and every day when we go out and do service. But this is exactly what you need at home, trying to figure out your own project. So I don't know what you have going on, but if you could apply what I'll share with you to whatever you got going, it'll get you one step closer to your solution. So that's what this is. And then everything else, it could be tile cleaning, stone cleaning, shower cleaning, outdoor cleaning, indoor cleaning, COVID cleaning. It doesn't matter what kind of cleaning. These foundations that I'll go over can apply to any of them. You just gotta factor how to apply it. So that's what this video is about. All right, so without further ado, what is cleaning? Cleaning is a science. There's that, elbow grease. It's really not elbow grease. It's understanding the variables and how to attack them, right? So basically what you want to think of is a marker that is a little darker. Okay. Is a quadrant. And in this quadrant, basically it would be starting with, let's say, the presence of heat. The second quadrant would be chemical. The third quadrant, let's make it agitation. And then the fourth quadrant, we'll make that rinse and or extraction. And then at the end of all of this, there's also this one little factor at the end called time. And then time plays a role in all of this as well. Okay, so what I'm trying to illustrate here is whenever you're trying to clean anything, right, do you have access to heat? Heat in the form of something, whether it's a towel that you heated up with an iron to try to transfer a spot off of upholstery, or is it hot water? And then if it's hot water, to what temperature, what degree, based on what you're trying to achieve. You're just trying to rinse it off. You're trying to power wash it off. Are you trying to sanitize it? So all depends on what it is that you got going on there. The next quadrant would be chemistry. So as far as chemistry goes, now we're kind of like into the box of concentrated cleaners. So for example, our daily stone cleaner, we offer that in ready to use, and we offer it in concentrate. So this would be a scenario would be concentrate. But when you have a concentrated product, you can play with dilution rates based on its concentration. There's different ratios based on how much it is that you're trying to make to achieve whatever result you're trying to achieve. So chemistry is a big factor, because then the chemistry part, so okay, how do I break this down? So as far as heat goes, we could say heat for temp, to reach a certain temp, or heat to, let's say, sanitize, right? So there's different reasons why you would want heat, or heat to loosen soil, right? Now on the chemistry side of things, now it's what created the stain. So the big question that we always ask is like, okay, what happened? What made it? What created it? And then when they tell us what it is that created it, then you compare what it is with what it's on, and then figure out the chemistry for that. So that would be what created it. The other thing would be, do you have heat? If so, chemistry might go up or down. So what does that mean? All right, so if you're dealing with like a concentrate, the concentrate normally has lightly soiled, medium soiled, heavily soiled dilution rate. Basically, each dilution rate is just saying, hey, I'm going to clean a little stronger. I'm going to clean a little stronger. And then in reference, using our concentrated daily stone cleaner, it doesn't remove sealer, regardless of what concentrate you're going to. So what that product gives you is it gives you a very strong cleaner that you can, increase its strength while still ensuring that it's not going to remove sealer. So that's what's up with that product. So when you're dealing with any kind of product that you have a concentrate of, you have the option to increase or decrease the dilution rate based on what it is that you're trying to achieve. I'm sure there's more to this, chemistry, what, boom. Oh, and then I guess the material, right? So the material, what is it? What landed on what material? So it could be, the what was red wine, and then the material could be marble. Okay, that probably tells me that it's an etch, which means that there's no chemistry that's going to remove it, which then brings me over here to agitation. At this point, it's what am I removing from what material? Oh, you think it's an etch? Then at that point, it's a form of agitation. And in this form, it would be, grinding or honing. Another form of agitation is just scrubbing, right? So now you would scrub. Scrub, it could be done with a bristle brush, could be done with a red pad, a black pad, a white pad, different types of materials, non-scratch pad, dish, washing sponge, so it's a question of what is it that you're agitating with, how to scrub it. So you got your grinding, your honing, your scrubbing, your agitation, but with agitation is that there's some form of movement. You got to move it with something somehow, unless you account for, let's say, a greater chemistry that because of the chemistry you increased it, now you need less agitation. So that's kind of where, if you could see where that's going, that's where it all ties in. And then at the end over here we have rinse and extraction. So as far as rinse goes, rinse could be at what psi, rinse could be at what temperature, rinse could also be at what amount. So for example, you can rinse, with a hose, with the garden hose at home. You could rinse with a power washer, or you could rinse with something bigger, right? So the question is, what do you rinse with? But we know for a fact that you need to rinse, right? So if you were, let's say, shy on agitation, but you had PSI, that PSI would compensate for the lack of agitation, because what is it that agitation does? It helps move what chemistry helped agitate it to separate it from the material that you're starting on if you had heat. So that's another section, is that if you had heat, this would be a different story. But so in this particular case, the decision on how you're going to rinse is a huge factor, all right? And then extraction. So like extraction is literally just saying how to remove what you did, right? And I keep it as simple as just how to remove what you did, because if you're in a garage, and you're hosing down your epoxy garage floor, well, at that point, what would you do? You grab a mop and you'd extract it that way. That would be your extraction method, is a mop or a wet vac. You wet vac it up, and then after you're done wet vacking it, You come back with like something like a flat mop because there isn't going to be much moisture, but you'll still have a little bit of moisture to go ahead and go pick up, right? So it all depends on what it is you're extracting from. So another example would be you rinsed and you sprayed your countertop. Well, now you're wiping it with a towel. Well, one towel, sometimes when that water gets absorbed, it begins to smear as opposed to absorbing, right? So you grab that, you flip it, you grab that, but then you come with a dry one, and then you go ahead and do that final little buff, I guess you would call it, right? But it's a form of extraction. So whether you're extracting something via a paper towel, a sponge, a towel, a microfiber towel, vacuuming, air blowing with an air gun, pushing it out. Like, it doesn't matter the form of, you're extracting whatever it is that you did. So what this chart right here is also meant to share is that when you're trying to remove something, you take all of this into consideration, right? What is it that landed on what? Do you have access to heat? So if you have access to heat, heat is awesome. Heat is awesome. Heat will help increase the chemistry. So basically, it's when you put hot water in most, not all, right, but in most solutions, most chemicals, they work stronger. I forgot why, but they do. So they go ahead and they work stronger. So now if you can add hot water to chemistry, then you compensate it for not having heat over here in this section. Then it's like, where is it at? Is it inside the house? Is it outside the house? Because then that determines what you're going to agitate with. You could agitate anything, with an auto scrubber, at a lobby, or just agitate with like a deck brush. It doesn't matter what it is that you're using, but you're using a form of agitation to loosen up the soil that hopefully the heat and the chemistry encapsulated for you to be able to rinse and or extract to remove it all. And then once you're done with that step, that's when you go into what do you seal it with. So go into the sealer video to understand that part. But what I share with you is that's the foundation. That's the fundamentals. If you lack one, increase the other. If you lack another, how can you piggyback off the other two? Like, that's literally what it is. And then rinse and extraction is usually determined by where is it? Inside, outside, mud room, bathroom, around the wood floor. Like, there's a lot of information that goes into that. But this is basically it. And then the last one that it was kind of hidden under here was time. So the reason why time is a factor is because the longer something sits, usually, the longer something sits, the harder it is to remove, which means that time plays a role in how effective this whole thought process works, basically. So that helps increase or decrease, okay? All right, so that's just a basic breakdown of what cleaning is. I'm gonna make another couple of set of videos where I help illustrate and kind of put this into practice. So, if it didn't make sense with, how I shared it or what I said, I'm gonna actually put it to use. I'll continue that in the next video. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next one. If you have any comments you like, please subscribe, like, comment, share. Again, remember, this channel is all about share all and help all. If you have any positive information to bring to the table, please put it down. There's something that I missed over here, which I'm sure I did. Help me out. Put it in the comment section. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you.